Like you mentioned before, you had Carl Sagan as far as Cosmos watching TV. What's the best way of educating kids about climate? Because as the adults, we should be the smartest people in the room. But a lot of people are not listening, so it might be on the kids to fix things. So what's the best way to educate kids when it comes to climate?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I'll tell you that the kids are pretty educated. I teach them here, not so much kids, but they're still in their like 18, 19, the first year students here at Penn. But my daughter is in high school, her friends, this sort of Gen Z, they're pretty good. They get it. They're pretty savvy. They're pretty smart. They're incredibly articulate, and they understand the dimensions of the challenges that they face and the crises that they face. And I think they realize that if they don't take action themselves, nobody else is going to. They've got to sort of take hold of the steering wheel here because they are going to inherit this planet. It's important for us to make sure that their efforts aren't in vain because they're not yet in a position to make those decisions, to influence policy in the way that we can. So we have to provide them the opportunity. We have to make sure that we don't squander the opportunity for them in the meantime by continuing down this profligate road of ongoing burning of fossil fuels and the warming of the planet and the destabilization of our climate that's causing. There's still time to make sure that we don't, destabilize the climate, that we don't warm the planet beyond habitable bounds. And so it's absolutely critical over the next decade or so, we've got to bring carbon emissions down by 50% to prevent a warming of more than 3 degrees Fahrenheit, where we'll really start to see the worst and truly permanent consequences of the climate crisis. We can still do it, but we've got to decrease carbon emissions 50% within this decade. That means we need massive incentives. We need policies that will move us quickly in that direction. And that means we've got to turn out and vote for politicians who will support those policies and vote out the politicians who are standing in the way.